So we are reading. Joe Gallenberger's Liquid Luck. We are on chapter 12, page number 132 of the book and 105 of the PDF.
A wonderful way to learn in depth is to ask to be the apprentice of someone who demonstrates the skill set that you would like to learn. Many highly successful business people realize the value of and enjoy helping others learn what they do and know. An excellent way to learn energy healing is to work with a proficient healer, perhaps first as a client and then as an apprentice. There are many schools of healing, and often the more established and successful have certification programs which can help you find someone and perhaps offer you a path of study in this area interests you.
Shimangla, you have to come closer to your mic, please. Okay, so this is the exact way in which I have learned most of what I have learned. If I find someone or something that interests me and I feel that yes, I need to learn it, I will tag with that person. I will do anything with that person. If the person calls me anywhere, I will go anywhere, and I stay in the field, in the bio field of that person concerned who has that information and that knowledge. Okay, you will also find, many times you can try this. If someone knows how to do something and you ask that person to touch you while you're doing it, you will find that it will be easier for you to perform that particular task. It may be any task, right? So when you're in the field of someone who knows, automatically your learning process gets hastened. This was the reason why gurus were so important in the Indian culture.
Psychotherapy, counseling, and coaching all can provide great benefits in terms of self awareness, support, and empowerment to change. Since this involves an extensive commitment and is so private and personal, it is helpful to carefully interview the possible candidate for this role in your life. Here, referrals by someone you trust can help identify possible mentors. Part of the interview process would be to ask about theoretical orientation, their knowledge of the areas we have been discussing, and if their approach is present oriented, practical, and empowering. For example, for psychotherapy, I would select a therapist who focuses on the present and helps me identify and utilize my strengths. And I would ask, have you heard of positive psychology? What does it mean to you? How do you generally view your client and go about empowering them?
So, like the guru tests the pupil also has to test the guru. So over here, it's not exactly a guru, but is a counselor, someone who you go to ask and to clarify your thought process. Now, if that person is not khara, is the person is not competent, then you're going to be guided in an adverse way. So you have to be very, very clear in your thinking as to what are you really looking for, and then figure out if those same qualities are available in the person that you are going to consult for counseling and to really guide you.
Working with someone can seem a strange thing to do if you never have done it before and may rub against beliefs such as the belief that you are showing weakness because you're supposed to be able to handle things by yourself. But many of the most successful people in their fields use mentors, counselors, and coaches, and at times even support groups because they want to continue to improve on their excellence. I would suspect that even Tiger Woods uses a golf coach.
So most people, they use coaches. They're constantly developing themselves. The day you say that I know it all, you're finished. because there's always constant adjustment, constant growth, constant, understanding. And the more you talk to people, that's why a group of people who are working together becomes very important. A peer group along with a person who's guiding the group. So, and you see, that's what awareness is all about. We are all guiding each other, we are helping each other, we are talking about all the stuff that we know. So we are all working towards a certain goal, and we are all walking together, right? So this becomes very, very important when you want to grow. And also, doing new things become very important, because a new thing, when you add it to your repertoire, it adjusts your whole scenario. So what I'm finding is, the more we learn, the more holistic we become, and we must be open to learning and understanding. The moment we close the doors of our mind, we are literally finished. So even the most, or the best, or the most prolific coaches or psychotherapists, they always have someone else coaching them, so that they can see how they are doing it, what are they doing, whether they can improve or not. Every person I know is always consulting or working with someone else or the other.
There are many high quality seminars offered on these topics. Besides the content, a highly valuable contribution to your path can be the other people you meet at such an event. They can confirm that you are not crazy to be focusing on these things, offer guidance and support, and even become lifelong friends. It can be very lonely to explore these topics if your family and current friends do not share your interests. There are seminars on energy healing methods and ones on creating the reality that you desire, as well as seminars that explore specific types of abundance creation, such as investing in real estate or starting a small business. Some of these are filled with hype and come ons, so be sure to get references from people who have actually attended.
So let me tell you that half the growth that takes place when we attend programs at the institute, or attend programs anywhere, is from the connections that we at the end of the day land up making. The talks, I mean, I can tell you, I'm the first to get up in the institute and the last to go to sleep, simply because such fantastic people come to these programs, and they have so much of experience and so much of varied kind of interests, that it is mind boggling. Let me tell you, a lot of the stuff that I follow up on is after these conversations that I have with people who I have met at other seminars and programs. So one thing builds on the other thing. The more we communicate and connect with like-minded people, the more growth we will also have. And this is again exactly what we are doing in awareness also. Someone tells me that yes, this person is a nice person, can come and give a talk. We'll connect with that person, bring the person on. Slowly, steadily, we'll now start having their workshops. We'll start doing things with them also. So what is happening? We are gently growing the entire process, giving a repertoire of so many experiences, and even I am amazed, let me tell you, how all this has manifested. It's mind boggling. I couldn't imagine that this would happen, but it's happening. It's happening on its own. Why? Because we are connecting with people and getting people on board. So, and again, one more thing that I tell people, I tell this to the people in the institute also. Yesterday, in fact, we were having a conversation as to how to make the online stuff and the physical stuff. So one thing I clearly said at that in that meeting, that one thing we do in India is that we request every and each person in the workshops to share. And I think that is a huge part of the entire experience, because we learn so much from each other while we are in the program. When we go to the institute, many times people are not told to share. We just make a statement, would anyone like to share? If no one wants to share, then we move on. Okay. And I find that our workshops in India become more valuable simply because everyone shares, which is so important. I can't stress more on it. So this is exactly what he is saying over here. It can become a very lonely journey. If people around you are not supportive of you, it can become really frustrating. Let me tell you, I've experienced it. And it's not a very nice place to be in when your near and dear ones don't support you. Okay, when you, and that's the reason why I always say that if the whole family does a program, then you develop the same language to communicate in, and that becomes very, very important. Because if the other people in the family and your near and dear ones don't understand what you're talking about, then it's like you're in isolation. Everyone is together and you will be isolated. So I really love it when the whole family does any program, and we really encourage it, at least in awareness.
The best place that I have found to deeply explore your own consciousness is the Monroe Institute, TMI, mentioned in this book and more extensively in Inner Vegas. I have been a participant and trainer there for almost 30 years. It is located in a beautiful rural setting, has the amazing brainwave technology HemiSync to deepen meditation quickly, is free of dogma, attracts a worldwide group of intelligent and caring explorers, and has highly interesting experiential programs and very well trained facilitators. As mentioned, I developed TMI's MC Squared program, Manifestation and Creation Squared, which specifically deals with these areas of PK, energy healing, and manifestation. MC Square is a TMI graduate program requiring their gateway program as a prerequisite. However, I occasionally offer sync creation workshops for people who have not attended Gateway. The Monroe Institute has weekend programs using the same technology that explore consciousness in many communities around the world. The schedule of these activities is on their website. They also have local chapter networks in many places in the USA and in other countries where people gather to experience consciousness explorations and fellowship together with other folks in their community, often on a monthly basis.
So so the excursion So the excursion workshop or the outreach is in, I think now in 47 countries, if I'm not mistaken. And the local chapter network is also, I think, in now 50 odd countries. Technically speaking, awareness is also a part of the LCN movement. Okay, so these communities are there. They meet maybe once a month or once a week or once in a fortnight. There are small groups now. A lot of these groups are going online, like awareness has also gone online. They're also being created American online system and a Southeast Asian system. It's very strong in Japan. So various places in Australia. So, and in Europe, there are many, many trainers in Europe. Most of the countries in Europe have a trainer. It's there in Russia. So it's all over the place.
I offer the Inner Vegas Adventure workshops in Las Vegas, which focus on these three areas using the casino as the classroom for quick and clear feedback. In the 70 workshops done so far, I feel we have seen PK demonstrated in each one to varying degrees, as well as had significant healing and insights on the part of the participants. I cannot guarantee that you will win back your tuition, but you just might.
So the Inner Vegas is a workshop that Joe Gallenberger takes people to Las Vegas. I was speaking to him. He says that now it is literally impossible to do it because they have partitions between each tables and only two people can be on a table. Ideally, there used to be 14 people when he used to take workshops over there. 14 people surround the table. Either it's the crap table or the roulette table. and 14 of them surround the table in a specific kind of a grid to help support the person who's actually playing or rolling the dice. And it's very well depicted in Inner Vegas. Maybe we'll read the book sometime in the future. But yeah, and normally they win. Okay, so
I also offer a home study course on these topics called Sync Creation, a course in manifestation that well over 1,000 people have used and rated very highly. My website contains much more information than is presented here, including a survey of the results that people have experienced. Sync Creation comes with a dozen custom HemiSync meditation exercises, an extensive 100-page book containing many experiential exercises on the topics we have covered, including PK, metal bending, seed growing, light bulb lighting, and healing self and others, as feedback tools to measure progress and to learn about your creation with your energy and thought. There are also powerful exercises for grounding and clearing blocks of fears and limits. 2 hours of personal coaching come with the course.
so we are in conversation with Joe to bring the Sin Creation program to India. I hope sometime in July it should be in.
What's PK?
PK means psychokinesis. Psychokinesis means something which is out of the ordinary, like you bend spoons and forks, you teleportation comes into it, growing seeds, lighting light bulbs, uh, doing things which are out of the ordinary. Basically, that's what PK is all about.
Okay, thanks.
Besides Liquid Luck, I also offer other individual downloads and CD exercises. These include Manifesting with HemiSync, which has 2 exercises for visualizing what you would like to create. Partners Meditation, designed to elevate your energy in all your important relationships, past or present, which is very helpful in raising and maintaining your energy for manifestation. And my newest CD download called Abundance Waterfall, which is designed to have you appreciate and then increase abundance in all areas of your life. So there is much help out there. Get the assistance you need. Keep the faith in yourself and the world. And enjoy this amazing journey we call life.
Yeah, so we've done Liquid Luck many times in our meditations. We've also used the manifestation with HemiSync. We haven't done the partners meditation. I think we'll do it today.
Chapter 13, Summary. I'm an experienced realtor who hates hosting open houses. I was at one this week, bored out of my mind because no one was coming to see the $650,000 property. Then I remembered listening to Liquid Luck a few days before. I took a drink of Liquid Luck, and within 20 minutes, a couple came by and loved the house. They did not have their checkbook with them. I just surrendered to what would be best for all concerned, and they bought the house within 3 days.
So again, the point here is that when we open to abundance, we allow things to happen. We move out. You see, his thinking was saying that no one is going to come. But the moment he drank the Liquid Luck portion, he let go. And then the universe manifested whatever needed to manifest. So what I'm finding is most of the time, we just need to step out of the way. We come in the way of what needs to manifest for us.
We have covered a lot of ground in this book. In understanding manifestation, it is important to remember that it is really a natural process. As we have dissected the creation process into its significant parts, there is a danger that we have made something that is our birthright, seems so complicated as to be intimidating. We could look in such detail at many normal processes that we carry on daily without a thought, such as breathing or digestion, and experience the same type of wonder at their complexity. But we would not allow that wonder to keep us from breathing.
So what is he saying over here? We don't pay attention to our breathing. We don't pay attention to our digestion, which are both pretty complicated stuff, right? But we pay attention to our thoughts, which is actually creating a restriction in what needs to manifest in our life, and then derail it. So the more we allow things to happen, if you start thinking too much of your breathing and thinking too much of your digestion, you'll complicate issues. The idea is to be aware that, okay, it's happening. When we are manifesting, we need to be aware that it's happening rather than putting our 2 bits into the game.
This also occurs with many learned skills. When we first break down piano playing into reading music, learning all the notes and the notations concerning length and timing of those notes, and the positions of the hands, etc., it can seem cumbersome and overwhelming. When we learn a particular dance step, we first must understand where to put our feet, how to hold our partner, and how the sequence of movements proceeds. It is the same here. Yes, in manifestation, many factors interact with each other, but they do so in a rhythm that, with practice, soon becomes very natural.
So we are awareness is actually monitoring a program being conducted by Zia on the Gurdjieff dance movements. Okay. And let me tell you, it's mind-boggling. You have to move your left hand in a particular way, your right hand in a particular way, your legs in a particular way, your head in a particular way, and it's pretty complicated. But when you break down everything and practice individually everything, and then bring it all together, it comes together so beautifully. And I'm seeing it on screen. So many people are bringing it so beautifully together. It's amazing to really observe and see the whole thing happening. So manifestation is also like that. When we start understanding that what works for us, how it will all come together, let me tell you, it is absolutely possible for all of us to manifest whatever we want in our lives. Again, we have to have that caveat, okay, for the greater good, a win-win situation manifesting. If we are selfish, then manifestation takes a back step. We have to be selfless. We have to allow and become part of the whole rather than an individual. So naturally, the ego has to get compressed in this game.
We see that happiness is important to life satisfaction and health, and that it enhances and is helped by grounding, which is being fully present in the here and now. They become a positive feedback loop for each other. The happier we are, the more grounded we tend to become, and the more grounded we are, the happier we will tend to be. As both increase, our manifestation effectiveness increases. As more of our dreams are created, we become even more grounded and happy because it is more fun and satisfying to be here.
So when we go to visit people's houses, we use the Lecker antenna to read the frequencies in the house. And one of the frequencies which come, I call it it's the grounding frequency. Whenever that frequency is off, it means that the people in that environment are overestimating their capacity. Now, when one overestimates their capacity, it is very difficult to become successful. It's like, my capacity to sell is 1,000 pieces, but I start manufacturing 2,000 pieces. then I'm never going to be successful, because I'll always have a stock in hand. Okay. So the balancing has to be there. So what he is saying very clearly here is being grounded, knowing what you are, not getting into an egoistic kind of a scenario, is extremely important, because that allows you to operate out of appreciation and gratitude, which ultimately results in you being happy. So there's a feedback loop that starts taking place here. The more grounded you are, the more selfless you are, the happier you become, and it feeds itself. It's exactly like what we saw in the Celestine prophecy, where everyone is giving to the other person, not wanting to grab from the other person, and everyone is giving each other. So you give, you get, you give, you get, and the sum total of the entire thing keeps expanding. So over here, the same thing will happen. The more happy you are, the more grounded you become, the less egoistic you become. The more grounded you are, the happier you become. Okay, so it works like a feedback loop.
We have shown that practicing gratitude for the blessings we already possess fosters happiness. The better we are at manifesting, the more opportunities we have to feel grateful. Next, we added feeling abundant to the mix because, under the principle of like attracts like, if we feel lacking in an area, we will tend to manifest more lack. And if we feel abundant, we will tend to produce more abundance.
So what I've been noticing in the biofield tuning sessions now, when we are setting the Earth star and the Sun star, two places the field gets blocked. One place is when I'm doing the Earth star, it gets stuck in the feet. And this is like the image I get is like shackles on your feet. So you're feeling shackled. And the other place is when it gets stuck near the eyes. This is your focus. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on uplifting things? Are you focusing on depleting things? And what I'm finding is that people who are focusing on depleting things keep getting stuck. So there's a connection between the shackles and what you're focusing on. So if I'm focusing on abundance, that is what is going to manifest in my life. I will get unshackled. But if I'm focusing on stuff which is depleting me, I will get more shackled. So over here, what he's saying is that like attracts like. So whatever you're focusing your attention on, that is what is going to manifest in your life. So again, in the Gita also, Nagarji keeps saying that we create our reality. We are responsible. Our desires, our vasanas are what creates our reality. So what is it? What are our desires? Whatever we desire, we are going to focus on that. So let us be aware of what we are focusing on, even in our day-to-day lives. Are we focusing on something which is depleting, or are we focusing on something which is uplifting? Becomes very important. We come straight back again to the left side and the right side of the grid. Which side of the grid are you operating from? That is what you're going to attract into your life.
With these basics in place, we can greatly amplify our abundance creation by connecting with sources outside of our main concern with ourselves. The first way we do this is to cultivate more compassion. This serves to connect us with others and motivates us to create abundance and happiness for many besides ourselves. Thus, the universe is tempted to help us more actively, given that our efforts will now have even further reaching positive impact. As we practice compassion, it also helps us become more compassionate towards ourselves, which can help release the many ways we might block goodness from coming to ourselves, such as guilt and self criticism.
So compassion, okay, this is very different from pity. If you're compassionate, you're operating from the heart. But if you are operating out of pity, then you're operating from the head, from ego, because you consider that person lower. That's why you're pitying that person. So it becomes very important to understand from where you're operating. Now, the more compassionate you become, the more extended you become. If you are compassionate, you're willing to lend a helping hand. And then when you need the help, you will find that others will automatically lend their hand to you. Because again, what you give out comes back to you. Now, it may not come back from the same person, but it will come back from people for you. And as you become more compassionate to others, you will always become more compassionate to yourself, because you cannot be more compassionate to anyone else if you're not compassionate to yourself. What again, that same that WhatsApp message, if I squeeze an orange, I'm going to get orange juice, right? And we are our biggest critics. We constantly cut our own feet. We constantly degrade ourselves. Now, if I start becoming compassionate, then you become more accepting of other people's faults, other people's state of being. And when you do that, you become more, you become less self-critical of yourself. So automatically, again, you're creating a feedback loop over here. You be more compassionate with others, you'll become more compassionate to yourself. And then you'll automatically become happier.
We then add love to this mix, which even more deeply connects us to others, to the world, and to spirit, and further opens the tremendous power of our hearts. With love, we will have the courage to go forward into the unknown of change. With love, we can be trusted to stay out of greed and ego and use the wisdom of the heart to select what we create for the benefit of all. With love, we link to all consciousness in the universe and have seen that consciousness and love may be the essential underpinning of the entire time space universe and beyond.
So when we are operating from the brain, we are in linear time, mostly in the past or the future. The only time we can come into the present is when we operate from the heart. This also has a meaning with the left side and right side of the brain. The right side of the brain is more connected to the heart than the left side. The left side is more logical, so it's more connected with the ego, right? The heart or the right side of the brain takes the gestalt, it takes the whole, it gets the feel rather than being cut and dry. Okay. And the more connected we are to the whole, the more the universe will automatically start to manifest for you. And you can be, it's like you're part of the whole. So you'll not hurt anyone. You're not going to do anything bad for anyone else, because that person is again a part of your whole. So we are looking at it from the holographic universe point of view, that everything affects everything else. And the moment you start operating from that consciousness of love, you are in an uplifting kind of a flow. You're on the right side of the grid. But when you operate out of fear, you operate out of egoism, you automatically land up on the left side of the grid.
Next, we add praise as a natural outpouring in celebration of the energies we are engaging. This praise aligns us with the highest and finest energies of the universe, joining our song with the song of all creation and the angels, if you will. The power of praise assures that our path will be true to the design of the universe for best purpose and will empower our manifestation even further.
So,
Fine.
so what is praise, right? Praise is appreciation. So you're appreciating. You see, all the in Christianity, the hymns, most of them are in praise of the Lord. In our Hindu culture, most of the bhajans are in praise of the Lord. So what are we, when we are praising something, what are we doing? We are appreciating it, right? And as we get into appreciation, we engage the creative forces of the universe. Because what is happening? We are focusing on what we are appreciating. So when I engage something, that is what is going to manifest in my life also. So creativity starts getting enhanced. And then of course, when we did that exercise here for 1 minute, we were praising ourselves, and then we were really praising everything around us, right? The moment we get into appreciation, we find things start moving up. Let me tell you, even inanimate objects, they have consciousness, and we can test it with the Lecker antenna. You treat something, some inanimate object with love and appreciation, it is going to serve you for decades. You hit it, right? And you say, you even think of breaking it or throwing it away, and the field changes in that inanimate objects also. We've seen it with the Lecker antenna, right? So when we are operating of praise, when we are appreciating something, automatically it starts getting uplifted. There was that story, I don't know, it was coming in WhatsApp about a war elephant. This elephant really won so many wars, or very well it fought in for this king for many years. And then the elephant became a little old, and when he went to swim in the pond, his leg got stuck and he couldn't take it out. And they tried everything to take it out, but it just didn't come out. Okay. And then there was a sage or someone came and they said, beat the war drums. As soon as that happened, the elephant got out. So everyone needs motivation. Everyone needs a kind of a push up. So and we are also the same, right? So when we depreciate ourselves, we are killing ourselves. When we appreciate ourselves, we are propping ourselves up. But again, you have to be aware, right, that the ego doesn't come into the picture. It needs to be genuine praise from the heart.
That was Gautam Buddha.
Yeah, Gautam Buddha. Yeah.
Finally, at the moment that we are likely to already be feeling fortunate from our resonance with all the energies mentioned so far, we add the energy of luck to our energy mix. The addition of a lucky feeling allows synchronicity and serendipity to come into play more strongly and makes it easier to have trust and sense the correct timing to take action towards our creation. And feeling lucky, we have the confidence to take a chance and create something new.
So if someone keeps feeling that they are unlucky, then do you think that anything will manifest in their life? So we need to feel lucky. Again, appreciation, gratitude. We need to be grateful for what we have. Otherwise, we'll never get what we want. So that feeling of luck is something that we need to inculcate.
Now, with all the notes learned, we can play the music and dance the dance of creating such good in our lives that it can appear miraculous. At first, we may be self conscious and stumble a bit, and that is perfectly natural and okay. Remember that each present moment is freely given, and within it, we can choose differently.
So at all times, we always have a choice. We have a choice as to what to focus on. Whether we are operating from a depleting state of consciousness or an uplifting state of consciousness, whether we are in gratitude or we are in regret, right? We have the choice, and that is what will determine what our future trajectory is. So make the choice in the most beneficial way for yourself, which is always looking at upliftment, operating from appreciation, gratitude, love, praise, all these things. Mix it into your life, and automatically things will happen for you. You will automatically start feeling that you are very lucky, and whatever you desire tends to start manifesting for you.
I would like to tell a true story that illustrates the way self consciousness can play out in hampering our energy. From a very young age, I was at home on ice skates. All my friends and I looked forward to when the local pond would freeze. It was a rare treat in that some winters in New Jersey, it never froze solid enough to skate. I played a bit of informal ice hockey, but really liked figure skating, and if I do say so myself, was smooth in my moves. What I know for certain is that I had tremendous fun going forward at great speed, executing turns, small jumps, and skating backwards, losing track of time until my feet were numb. I felt the same joy and competence with roller skates at the roller rink and local streets. In fact, perhaps the first contest that I won manifested was coloring in a drawing of Huey, Dewey, and Louis Duck for a national contest and winning a pair of really fancy roller skates when I was about 8 years old. I want to contrast this with the first time I went to a dance. Here, I was very concerned with looking cool and doing it right because this is how you captured a girl's hopefully favorable attention. A girl's attention was one of the most hoped for and feared experiences that a young adolescent boy could dream of. I gave dancing a shot. I felt self conscious and uneasy, constantly monitoring my movements and scanning around to see if anyone was watching. I felt I was moving like a chicken with its head cut off, felt very embarrassed, and terminated the experience as fast as I could. What is up here? Dancing on a wooden floor in shoes has got to be easier than dancing on skates, unless you are self conscious. So, as you do your manifestation work, let go judging yourself and of worrying what anybody else thinks. Some will say you are crazy or that any good results are coincidence. Some might be envious. Some might even say that you are in league with the devil if you have success.
So, so basically, what is it? In the first instance, when he's skating, there is a letting go. There is an uplifting kind of an attitude. And in the second case, when he's dancing, he's becoming very, very self-conscious, right? Which is a depleting state of being. So where do you think he's going to succeed? Naturally in the skating bit. Very simple.
As with learning to play an instrument or to dance, it is perfectly appropriate to start with smaller, simpler steps. It may be too much, or maybe not, to attempt to move from feeling much scarcity in your life directly to winning $100 million lottery. But manifesting a sweet parking space or $100 win on a scratch ticket might be easier for many reasons. You have an easier time believing that it is possible and that you are worth it and that it will not rock your world too dramatically.
So what he's saying over here is that confidence is built over a period of time. And the more you engage the process, you can gently build it up. Now, this happens when people start using the reball also. In the beginning, everything starts to manifest, and then the ego starts kicking in, where they think that whatever they do will start to happen, which doesn't happen because you've clicked out of the universal connection and clicked into your own ego connection. So we have to be very, very, aware of where we are operating from for this magic to manifest in our lives. And taking small steps is the most appropriate way to do this. In fact, for doing anything, when we take small steps and build on them, it's the best way to actually go.
We have seen that there are simple CDs and many books, including the ones on the recommended reading list in this book, that can help ignite your manifestation ability. My hope is that you use this book, Liquid Luck, as a handy handbook that you go back to often to refresh your understanding and enthusiasm for abundance creation. And if you want to go more deeply in this journey, there are workshops and home study courses that can help you.
So this is what we are doing in any case in awareness, right? We are engaging in various books, we are engaging in various thoughts. We are constantly attempting to grow.
The main thing that you can get in the way is fear. It can cloud any part of the process, so it is important to identify, manage, and melt fear. The self consciousness mentioned above is but one example of fear. If it is helpful to you, you can view fear as a multi headed dragon guarding your treasured goals, and know that in the end, it is a dragon of your own creation and is no match for you, as you are a powerful embodied spirit designed to be creator of all good. The dragon only has the amount of power that you give it. Remember your affirmations. I am free of all limits. I am of great light. I am of great love. And I accept myself as most honored guest in my own heart. Then simply sing the dragon to sleep with your own high heart energy, which is love, and move onward and upward.
So once again, where are we operating from? From fear or from love? You can boil down any of the emotions down to fear and love. The more we are focused on love, the more we operate on the right side of the grid, the more we allow things to happen, the more we engage the process rather than creating a roadblock to what needs to happen. That is when we create the magic in our lives.
Once you have learned the notes or the steps, playing an instrument or dancing becomes easier and can be great fun and a unique way to express who you are. In the same manner, learning to consistently create abundance in your life becomes easier, then great fun and a wonderful way to express the uniqueness that is you. You will put your very own spin on it as you express your heart's desires into reality. It will benefit you, and the world will benefit as you live a happy and abundant life. Thank you so much for reading this book. I hope it helps bring every blessing to you and your community. Good luck.
So we come to the end of the book. That was really wonderful. Right. If anyone has anything to say, because we will start the new book tomorrow. Anything to say on this book? Any comments? No comments?
It was an amazing book for you.
Yeah,
Very
no,
interesting
every
concept.
bit of it. Loved every bit of it.
yeah. So from tomorrow, we are going to start, we will start this thing, Zero Limits. Okay, that's based on Ho'oponopono. It should be a nice read also. So we will start with Zero Limits tomorrow.
Where is it part of Ho'oponopono, or is it based on the same principle?
It's based on the same principles. Actually, Ho'oponopono became very, very popular after that book came out.
Okay.
Zero Limits.
Yeah. So we have the PDF. We'll post the PDF on all the groups. So we will start the book, that book reading tomorrow. Anyone, anything to say on this book? Anything to share? Have you all started becoming more aware of from where you're operating? That's the main game.
I find it
Yes,
very interesting.
Absolutely.
Very good concept.
Yeah. Someone else was sharing?
I think it's a very, very positive book and a very light. They show very simple strategies. They put like for all of us, these things are normal. If
Mm.
we are aware of it and start applying, that's the most important thing.
Correct.
Otherwise, all these words and the emotions, we all know. It's just that we don't know the power. And now we've learned that.
Correct. Absolutely. We don't actually, the point is that we don't know the power of our own words.
Yeah.
And see, today, if you are speaking something, you're thinking it, right?
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
So if we can start watching our thoughts, what are we thinking? It will automatically change our actions.
Mm.
And then everything will start working. That's the basic game.
We'll
That
be
is the-
doing this more awareingly now.
Correct. Absolutely.
Words and thoughts, Bhaiya. Power
Naturally,
of
the words will come.
Absolutely.
The words come from the thoughts, right? So if your thoughts are clear, your thoughts are uplifting, you're operating out of compassion, out of abundance, out of praise, out of appreciation, gratitude, it will automatically shift you. And we've seen in the power versus force levels of consciousness also. Everything above that 200 is what will take you up. Anything below that is going to deplete you. So the idea is, where are we operating from? I think these are the key words. If we can keep asking ourselves, where am I operating from? And then really figure out where we are operating from. I think 90% of the game is over. Yes, Deepa, can we see you?
We were talking about watching your words, right?
Yeah.
It's so strange. Sometimes you speak without even thinking. I'll give you a very simple incident. I had a very, very dear friend of mine from Indonesia who was visiting. And that particular 3-4 months, she had traveled so much, it was a joke. So on the 6th of March, just before the first lockdown, she was staying with us, she was going home. So just out of the blue, I told her, I said, now go home and stay put for a while, because you've been traveling so much. She has never forgiven me for that, because 2 days she's staying put. I mean, I didn't even know the lockdown was going to happen or COVID was going to become such a joke, right?
So now give her a big hug and tell her that, there's value in this also.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but she's like, she loves traveling. So every couple of months, she reminds me, she said, you said stay put, I'm still sitting put. I said, oh God, and never talk again. But it's like out of the blue, you're not thinking, right? You just say something that comes to mind, but you really need to watch your words.
Yeah. Very true. So many times, we say things in jest, we say things as a joke, but we really don't know how it's affecting the other person. So the more aware we can become of these things, like a simple thing, now you stay put. It was a joke. It was not anything that Deepa really meant it. But then, words are words. So they have power. Right? So it's nothing. Boliye?
तथास्तु हो गया
तथास्तु हो गया, absolutely.
तथास्तु अंकल एक्चुअली हम
Absolutely.
लोग वाला कि ठीक ठीक बोलो तथास्तु अंकल आ जाएंगे.
Chaliye. So I think that was a good read. We'll wrap up now. We'll meet for meditation at 3:45.
Thank
Okay,
you.
since he mentioned the partner's meditation, I was refraining from doing that. For some reason, I thought you need a partner, but I have to take out that track, and then today we'll do partner's meditation. Let's see how it works.
What is it, Nikhil Babu?
No, he
3:45.
mentioned over here partner's meditation. So we
Achha,
haven't
okay.
done it yet. So we'll do it today.
So we have to keep our partners by our side.
No, that's what I'm wondering. Let me just look at it and then we'll see. Keep your partner in your imagination, na?
Yeah.
And that is always there.
Always there. मौज
वो एक जो बोलते हैं ना भय बना रहता है.
Imagination में भी नहीं रखना है. Imagination.
Nikhil. Wonderful book.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Glad you
Thank you.
Thank you, Chachi. Good to see you.
Really enjoyed it.
Chaliye. So
Thank
we'll
you,
see you all.
Shubangla.
We'll see you all
so
at
much.
3:45.
Thank you. Lovely.